Happy Friday. And when it's Friday, you know what that means. I'm already half in the bag. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so Southern, she majored in the Dukes of Hazzard. Co-host of The Bottom Line on Fox Business, Dagan McDowell. Liberals would love to put this clay in the kiln. Co-host of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, Clay Travis. He's sharper than a razor and styles his hair with a taser. Comedian David Angelo. She's like a mannequin, pale, and sometimes her arms fall off. Fox News contributor, Cat Tim. All right. Now, before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Bop! It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading these, so if they suck, we'll light a stick of dynamite and put it in Joe Mackey's lunch. I thought we were gonna say up his ass. Funnier. Should have gone with my instincts. Here we go. Joe Biden finally went to the devastation in Hawaii this week. He was reluctant to go until he found out there's a beach. I know. He's an awful man. This week, Vivek Ramaswamy joined RFK Jr. as current presidential candidates who've been spotted in public shirtless. All I can say is, thank God she's not running. Terrible! Oh, clap away, if you will. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman looked unrecognizable in a recent selfie, which is an improvement. Kamala Harris is trying yet another reshape of her public image in the run-up to 2024. In order to improve her opinion polls, she's changing her name to Hepatitis C. Due to salmonella outbreak, the CDC has advised against kissing or snuggling turtles. And this is bad news for some. Yeah. They're still assessing the damage caused by the earthquake that hit Southern California this week. Yesterday, in fact, they discovered deep cracks and fissures in 4 of the Kardashians. A Tampa woman, is there any other kind? A Tampa woman has fulfilled her childhood dream of becoming a stripper, just like her mother. We're still trying to track down her dad for comment. Oh, wow. Like it's our fault that she chose that lifestyle. A family farm in the UK is begging tourists to stop posing for naked pictures in their sunflower field. They're asking everybody to keep their clothes on, and that includes the cows. Seriously? Oh, you're awful. You're awful. Awful. Stop! Well, the number of transgender surgeries performed each year has tripled across the U.S. Experts say they haven't seen this many men lose their balls since the royal weddings. A new IKEA store just opened in downtown San Francisco because if there's one thing thousands of homeless drug addicts need, it's furniture that's hard to assemble. This week in Chicago, the heat index hit 120 degrees, making it the hottest day in a decade. In response, law enforcement is now telling residents to handle their illegal guns with an oven mitt. Earlier this week, stock photo. Somebody had a stock photo of a gun and an oven mitt. You never thought you'd use that one. The guy who had that picture taken says, how come we're not selling these? Just wait, Gutfeld's gonna make a joke. Earlier this week, 5 people were arrested for unruly behavior at a Nickelback concert. Apparently, yeah, they were singing Nickelback songs. So unfair. According to a new study, New Jersey has been ranked the worst state to drive in Traffic is so bad, drivers report 3-hour wait times to give each other the finger. The Spanish soccer president, there's a Spanish soccer president. He's under fire for surprising the team captain by kissing her on the lips. The only saving grace is that he wasn't allowed to use his hands. Soccer, right? You can't use your hands. And finally, master dating is going on dates by yourself. It's apparently the latest craze among the terminally lonely. Ah, you get used to it, said one man.
Well, I never. Unbelievable.
Went really slow so they can catch up. All right, now to the news. It's the shot heard, or rather seen, around the world. Last night in Georgia, 45 was arrested and his mugshot was released. Look at that. After so much Hunter coverage, it's nice to see a newsmaker photographed in pants. But you got to give the man credit. That's a look you won't forget. And it seems to be saying, oh, you are so when I'm out of here. Trust me. I got to say, I feel the same way. I mean, the media can laugh, but you get the sense that once again, they went too far. Trump returned to Twitter, now X, for the first time since January 8th, 2021. He reposted his own mugshot with the caption, "Election interference, never surrender." And he urged supporters to visit his website. And who didn't see that coming? His campaign is already seizing on the moment like a seagull on a bag of Funyuns. They're fundraising with a lovely new collection of short and long sleeve shirts, coffee mugs, bumper stickers, even beer koozies. Koozies. And unlike Kilmeade's last book, they're selling them like hotcakes. But what's the media care about besides gloating over Trump getting fingerprinted? His self-reported height and weight at 6'3", 215 pounds. No, full disclosure, though, at least 10 pounds of that was hairspray. But that means he lost more than 25 pounds since his last presidential physical in 2020. And for the mainstream media, that's where the investigative journalism begins and ends.
His weight is listed
175.
215.
6'3", 215, people pointed out as the exact dimensions of Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
The resemblance is uncanny.
Even if he fasted, there's no way. And Mark Meadows had to also self-report his height and weight. He clocked in at 240.
Honestly.
There's no way Trump is 25 pounds lighter than Meadows.
How's that for a blind spot? Look at them. Look at them. They arrest the president for the first time in history, and instead of wondering what that's going to do to this country or the voters or the world, they riff on everyone's weight. Who do they think they are? Me? That was funny. David, you know, you look at the media and the way they respond to it, and of course they're gleeful, but it seems to me that they must not know Trump. He always gets the last laugh. I think something big is coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows what'll happen. The case, I guess everyone doesn't seem to think it's that strong of a case in Georgia. The photo, it's kind of bringing everyone together because liberals love it.
Yeah.
And Trump people love it.
Yeah.
They all see, it's like the Rorschach test of like, you know, whether you, so they're all on board. Trump is interesting though, because he is, I've said this before, he's like the only punk rock person left in America.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You used to have the Ramones and all these people. Now it's just like Taylor Swift and stuff.
Yeah.
So people want someone who's getting in trouble.
Yeah.
It just happens to be the president.
By the way, I like your new Alanis Morissette look.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic?
The irony is she didn't know what ironic meant. Wasn't that the funny?
And you know what's funny? Neither do I.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Dagan, okay, would be a hypocrite to say they're obviously laughing about his weight, but I only make fun of people's weight when they call people racist. That's my modus operandi, if you haven't noticed.
But they have. I think that the weight thing. So I was looking online. And it dawned on me that President Trump and the prosecutions and this persecution of him and his mere existence, he's been doing a public service for a lot of these people, these left-wing wackos online, because they're like Ronnie and Robbie and Ricky. I think you know who I'm talking about.
I don't.
They're ridiculing him mercilessly, and this kind of feedback loop they get from their followers. That's all they have, because Viagra doesn't work. Cialis, nothing. The tubular, like, pump, that thing, they're not getting anything from that. So their mockery of this man is the only thing that gives them some get up and blow.
Yeah, sexual pleasure. Clay, you know what's amazing about this is that this guy he's been around for 70 some odd years. He was never arrested in his entire life. Gets arrested, he becomes president 4 times. Mere coincidence, or do you think they might be out to get him?
I got a theory that they're going to go out to get him for the first time in 240 years. 4-time arrest in 5 months.
Yeah.
And on the weight front.
Yeah.
How quickly would all of those people at MSNBC, guys, if you make a joke about Stacey Abrams being fat, and by the way, Stacey Abrams is really, really fat, way fatter for a woman, by the way, than Donald Trump is for a man.
Right.
And she has that photo where she's the only one not wearing a mask and all those school kids are sitting around. And the data reflects that if you are fat, COVID was more dangerous to you. And if you are 5 and 6 years old, you basically don't even know if you get COVID.
Yeah.
If you say that Stacey Abrams' fat ass should be the one wearing the mask because she is an obese adult, MSNBC loses their mind because it's fat shaming. They do.
Yeah.
But you say, right? But Donald Trump says he weighs 215 pounds, and they lead their broadcast with it.
Exactly.
Right? So is it fat shaming not the same for Trump as it would be for Stacey Abrams?
But it still blows my mind that, like, don't they understand that this is, I mean, that's a joke you make on the 4th day. On the 1st day, this is like a historical event, Kat. No?
I mean, yes. But, like, everything's a historical event now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, nothing's ever boring anymore.
No.
I just want to have a regular day. But also, it's, okay, I see how they could have wound up talking about that, because I saw that breaking news banner below, and they're probably running out of stuff to break after a certain point.
Yes.
Because they're saying, oh, they're just doing probably wall-to-wall live coverage on this, and really the only news, we all knew this was going to happen. The only news is that's what his mugshot looks like, and then, you know, all of the booking information. So you can only repeat yourself over and over again before you're desperately, desperately looking for something to add. So I could get that they were excited to be like, oh, the weight thing, we got an extra 3 minutes out of that. That's probably more what it is than anything.
I got to say, I mean, I think the mugshot is amazing. I don't care if he prepared for it. I also think a reckoning is coming. You don't do this to half of America and expect that it's going to go away. I mean, I don't know if I would feel good about this if it was Hillary or if it was Joe Biden. Yeah. But from now on, I am. I am. All right. I don't like revenge, but now I love it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.